Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of the College Baseball Show, Coach's Corner. As always, I'm Jared. That's Mark, and we have the privilege to be joined by another incredible guest, head coach Rob Vaughn of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Coach, how are you doing today?
Good, man. Good. Happy to be here.
Yeah, excited to have you on. I know this is our second time having you on the show. I always appreciate your time joining in. Just want to dive right into it. We just wrapped up fall not too long ago. What are some of the things that you're seeing there? Just getting ready for the 2026 season.
Yeah, it's been a productive fall. I think
Yeah.
so much of the fall is really just setting your identity more than anything. We can talk about the skill set. We can talk about bunt Ds and first and thirds and all that stuff, which is all good. That's all very important that we got to get to. But more importantly for me, the fall is just building the dynamic of your team. Who are you? Like, who is this unit going to be about? What are we going to be about? How tough are we? All of these things are things that I think the fall is just paramount for. And I've said it, man. I think teams build their character in the fall and it gets revealed in the spring. And I think these guys have done a really good job of that up to this point. So been a really productive fall. A lot of just the landscape of college baseball now, right? College athletics in general. A lot of new faces on campus, be it freshmen coming in, be it transfers transferring in, JUCO guys, whatever it may be. So man, it's been a great fall and kind of wrapping things up this week. Shoot, it's crazy. I got 4 more days with these guys. We'll finish up on Friday morning. And then they're off for Thanksgiving. And the way our academic calendar works is, there's nothing on the back end of it. So when we finish up on Friday morning, we'll get them back in January, and here we go.
Yeah, it's crazy that we're getting to that point in the season already, Coach. Like fall ball's wrapping up, we're figuring everything out. What do you take, really competitive fall ball for you guys? What do you guys take from last year and this fall and just getting ready for that February 13th start?
Yeah, man. I think we obviously play in the toughest league in amateur college athletics. I mean, it's incredible week in and week out, and there's great teams all over the country, no doubt, in every conference, the ACC, the Big 12, the Big 10. You go around, there's great teams everywhere, but I think the depth of this league and the atmospheres that you walk into in this league are is just second to none. There ain't anything like it, and until you walk through it. At Maryland, we played SEC teams all the time, but playing them for 3 games versus 30 is a big difference. And so the one thing I think you learn is I think so many of us as coaches get in the talent acquisition business. It's just, if I had better players, if I had this, if we had that, we got to change this, we got to do this and upgrade here. And at the end of the day, man, like, what's going to separate you in this league is not talent. Everybody's good. Mizzou had a tough season last year. I think they were 3-27 in the league, and Sam Horn was absolutely elite. They're Friday guys in the
Yeah.
upper 90s with a slammer. It's like, and that's the team that finished at the bottom of our league, and they're still a very good team. So I think when you look at this, it's what are we going to do to separate ourselves? And man, what we hang our hat on is toughness. That's just the way we're going to be, man. I heard it said all the time, man. I want a team that's just hard to kill, that just doesn't go away, that keeps showing up, that you can knock down, but they get back up. And you got to recruit that too. You're not going to make a zebra line if you have a soft kid, no matter how talented he is, he gets exposed in this league. It's got to be good. It's got to be talented, no doubt. But man, they better have a pretty tough exterior to be able to navigate the ups and downs of this. And so I think that's one thing we know. And after going into year 3 here, I think we know what it looks like and what the teams that finish at this top of the league every year do. And really happy with the group we've got in here, and I think we got a lot of pieces in place to go have some fun come February.
Yeah, I love that, coach. And you kind of talked about bringing in the right people, right? Not just kind of acquiring talent. What goes into building that culture now for you all, right? With the transfer portal kind of changing locker rooms every year, how do you kind of instill those traits into your players, like as soon as day one they walk into that door?
I think the first thing is you got to get the right people in the building.
Yeah.
I think that's number one. So I think it starts in recruiting, and I'm fortunate to have Mike Morrison here with me, who's my right hand man. Like, the recruiting coordinator in college baseball has changed drastically over the years. When I was a recruiting coordinator in 2013 at Maryland, it was you're just traveling all over the place trying to find good players. Now the recruiting coordinator is more of a GM, kind of an architect of your team, and more than just, hey, I hustle and go find players. It's man, you got to find the right people, you got to find the right fit. And so I think it's one thing we spend a a lot of energy on in the off season and as we're recruiting these high school classes is, man, not just I mean, and we can't put talent aside, right? Like it doesn't matter if they're the best kid in the world and the toughest kid in the world. If they're 75 to 78, they're probably not gonna it's probably not gonna work, right? Like there's a baseline of talent and ability that is necessary in college athletics. But I think it's more than that, and I think sometimes you have to be willing to look at that dude that is skilled, out the rear end, that's super talented, that's all of these things, but he's not a winner. And you have to have the guts to know, what, that kid's probably going to be great somewhere, but probably not here. It's probably not the right fit for him here. And so really recruiting that is where it starts. And then I think just setting the expectation. I think culture gets thrown around by everybody. And, I think Sark said it in an interview one time. It's not a slogan on a wall. It's not a team meeting where we talk about our pillars. It's not something like that. It's what's tolerated on a day-to-day basis. It's the decisions that are made on a day-to-day basis. And the thing that's been kind of fun in year 3 is, I feel like our first 2 years, we were the ones having to really hold the line on that a lot. And I think the expectation of how we go about our business, who are we, what do we do, is a little bit more entrenched here. And so you start to see players kind of take it and run with it. And I think every coach will tell you when your locker room sets the temperature every day versus you having to set the temperature, man, it can be a lot of fun. So, man, it's not a buzzword you throw around here. It's just how we live our life and how we behave on a day-to-day basis. And your culture is not what you say, it's what your actions show. And these kids have done a great job of that.
Yeah, you guys have really seemed to continue to build this thing up now going into year 3. Just speak a little bit about the leadership of some of these guys that are coming back. And it feels like those are the guys, like you said, are kind of pushing this narrative of this is what we are, this is what we're going to be, and this is the direction we need to go to be and meet our goals this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you look at it, and we've done some really cool things in 2 years, and I think Mo kind of slaps me on the hand all the time because I make it sound like we've had 2 bad years. But ultimately, like, we didn't move across the country to make a regional. Like, that wasn't it. Like, I didn't move my family to come down to Tuscaloosa because it's in the SEC. I didn't come down here because, man, it's like, great, we can be in a regional now. Like, that's not it. Like, we came to do special things. And at the end of the year, if you evaluate our last 2 years, we were 2 seeds and back-to-back regionals, went 0-2. And that ain't good enough. It's just, that's not why we came here. It's not who we are. And I believe winning matters. And I think people want to be a part of winners. And I think you look around college baseball and there's some really good examples of that. And I know they're one of our arch rivals, but I can talk a little bit better about him since he's not here anymore. But like what Tony V did in Tennessee, like we played Tennessee. My first year as Maryland's head coach was his first year as Tennessee head coach, and we played them. We opened up with them in Knoxville and took 2 or 3 from him. And you look at what that program transcended to over the next 7, 8 years, like that ain't the same place as it was 8 years ago. And now they're the team, like when you see these kids on the recruiting trail and you're recruiting, it's one of the hardest teams to recruit against, because they're winners, because they've won. And that's a credit to Tony and what he did there. And so, that's just the way it works. Everybody wants to be a part of a winner. So for us, man, we put a lot of emphasis on finishing. That's just what we haven't done. We did some really cool things in 2 years, but ultimately the level we've wanted to win at, we've fallen short twice. And I can tell you this group's worked their tail off to make sure that don't happen again.
Yeah, I love that. And Coach, kind of talking about, Mark mentioned going into your 3rd year, right? Yeah, 3rd year kind of experiencing the SEC schedule. What are some of the lessons that you've learned from the past 2 years to kind of help you prepare for the upcoming season?
Yeah, I mean, so much of this is like, it's crazy. This is year 3, and there's still a handful of places I haven't been yet, and there's a handful of places we still don't go this year, So, I mean, I'll be in year 4 next year and still have new schools we're going to visit that I haven't been on the road to yet. But man, like I kind of alluded to this earlier, there's really good players all over college baseball, and there's really good teams. The atmospheres that you function in a day in and day out basis is what separate this league from everybody else. And there's the slogan, it just means more, the SEC's always held to, and I hated that slogan before I got here. Like, I hated it. But it's not wrong. I mean, the care level from the fan bases, from the students, from the administration, I mean, it doesn't matter where you go. It is reckless. It is rowdy. And I think that's one thing we talk a lot about with this league is there's one thing to play in front of a lot of people, and that's really cool. It's another thing when you walk into a place and their fans actually play a role in the outcome of the game. And that's what makes us play. I remember last year we're at LSU on Thursday night, and we're playing Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're up 5-1. We kind of got after Kate Anderson early a little bit. We're up 5-1. They pinch hit. Jay always seems to push the right buttons. They pinch hit a 2-run homer. We're still up 5-3 in the seventh. And I felt like we were down by 10 because you could feel those Cajuns just closing in on you, and it's awesome. It's great. It's competitive. But I think that's one of the biggest things is like we better train these kids to be prepared for that, and so our level of training, our level of preparation, it's not meant to be pretty. It's meant to be hard. It's meant to be difficult. It's meant to be challenging every day because that's what we're going to walk into. The only way you have a fighting shot to stand on the mound at the box and expect success is if you've worked your tail off and you can look yourself in the mirror and say, you're prepared and ready for this. And so we have to train at a high level. We have to train in this competitive cauldron of just chaos. Like it's important. And the biggest thing is you better know how to take a punch. That's just the reality. Like you better learn how to pick yourself up off the mat because we went through a really cool thing. And the Big Ten has changed a lot over the years, and it's a very different league than even when I was in it, just a couple short years ago. But man, we went 2.5 years without losing a series in the Big Ten. Like it was like April of 21 till when we left in 23 that we did not lose a Big Ten weekend. That's just not going to happen here. Like that's not feasible. As good as some of these teams are, I think the 2022 Tennessee team is one of the best teams college baseball's ever seen, and they didn't do that. It's like, so with that being said, like you have to learn how to take that punch and get bloodied up and bruised and know, man, like yesterday has no impact on today unless I let it, and really have that mantra of belief. And, there's something that happened in I don't know what, I think it was 2022. I was still at Maryland. And we were at Illinois. And at that time, it was like the game hanging in the balance a little bit, the season hanging in the balance. This was really our first year. We were making a run at the Big Ten title, and us in Illinois were really tight. And we were in one of those cold, shinging pain weekends where, we played on Friday. There was rain coming in Saturday. We had to play on Sunday. So we had to play a doubleheader on Saturday. And we go out on Friday night and get beat 19-1. I mean, absolutely throttled on the road. And we come out the next day, and I'll never forget Troy Schreffler's in the Phillies organization now hits a big homer. And I mean, he stepped on it. It went way out. And he stood at home plate and admired his shot from a long way. And I'm yelling from the top rail of the dugout, like, run, run. I look at our dugout and I said, boys, when you get beat 19-1 on Friday, you put your bat down and you run around the bases. And our second baseman at the time, Kevin Keister, was standing on the rail right behind me. And I tell Kev this all the time because he's on staff with me here now. He's standing behind me. He said, yeah, coach, but we're up 3-1 today. And that was their mentality. They didn't care. Like yesterday, it didn't matter. Like you don't get extra points for drubbing somebody. A win's a win and a loss is a loss. If you have the mental fortitude and the mental toughness to be able to acknowledge yesterday and be like, it sucked. We weren't good enough. We didn't pitch good enough. We didn't swing the bat good enough. We didn't play good enough defense. But hey, it's a new day and we're up 3-1 today. Like that's the mentality you have to have in this league because you see it. It doesn't matter who it is. I mean, last year Missouri was 0-24 going into Texas A&M on the road, and I know A&M kind of scuffled at times last year, but they also played awesome at times last year, and they go in and sweep them at home like that. That just there's no other league that does that, Yeah. And I think you better show up to ring the bell every day. You better be able to take a punch, and you better be able to show up and bring a lot of toughness to the yard with you. Because if you don't, man, there ain't nobody that feels bad for you in this league. They're gonna try to punish you every time you get out there, and you got to be able to ring that bell.
Yeah, you got to be able to answer. You got to show up every single weekend. There's no weekends off in this league. Coach, you speak a little bit about just the fans in this conference, and really it's across college baseball that we've set record now for crowds showing up and fans being engaged and really wanting to be more part of the sport. At home, you guys seem to just to be another level. You guys come back from any victory, any level you guys were down, didn't matter. You guys seem like you guys come back and win those games. Talk just a little bit about the home fans and then the fans in general about how this game has just exploded.
Yeah, I think college baseball. I mean, college athletics is in a weird, I think is a fair place to say, weird place right now. And there's so many moving parts. Tony said it perfect in a podcast the other day where he's like, dude, you're driving down the road in dense fog and you can't see 100 feet in front of you. You just got to keep plugging. Like, that's where college athletics in general is right now. But the game of baseball, man, it's just in such a cool place, you know, and I think it's exploded in popularity. And you're seeing, I mean, we play in an unbelievable stadium here. It was built in 2016. We're doing an indoor renovation right now. We're getting ready to start that next week. That's going to be awesome. Texas A&M is building a $28 million indoor. Tennessee's spending $90+ million on their facility. Vandy's building a sick new addition in right field. Like, you're looking at all these things. That tells you where the health of college baseball is at, you know, and it's exciting. It's fun. I think it's a really fun brand of baseball that gets played. And I think, you know, college football, I get it. It's king. It's the money maker for everybody. We all need college football to be good at our respective institutions. But man, college baseball is just in such a neat spot from a popularity standpoint. And I think you've got a lot of, you know, coaches in this league that are elite at what they do. Some of the most elite winners, and guys like Dave Van Horn, who's the biggest winner of all time, you know, and you start looking at these guys that have been around a lot. And I think there's an infusion of young coaches as well. I remember when I came in that room for the first SEC meeting, I was much younger than everybody else in the room. And when I went in last year, Michael Early's sitting in there next to me. When I go in next year, Josh Elander's sitting in there next to me. So I think you're seeing some of that too. Some younger coaches coming into this league that's infusing some energy to it and doing some things. So college baseball is just in such a great place. And I think, like anybody, man, it's a heck of a lot more comfortable playing at home, you know, and I think you're in your own confines. You've got your team. And like I said, I think that's the big separator for us. Is I think it is not strictly playing in front of the fans. It's your fans directly impacting winning and losing the game. That's a real thing. And when you look at that, obviously Baum, Walker, man, those guys, when they start calling the hogs, that's different, you know. And when you go to LSU, when you go to Ole Miss, when you go to Mississippi State, when you go to Texas A&M, we're going to go to Texas this year. You start looking at all these places. It's not simply 10,000 fans in the seats. It's intensity. It's every pitch you're hanging on to. And I think that's what makes college baseball so cool is, like, I was telling somebody the other day, I don't think I watched one inning. This is probably bad, but I don't think I watched one inning of Major League Baseball throughout the season. But when October hits, I don't miss it because you got the best players in the world. I don't care if it's a team I don't care about. Like, you get the best players in the world playing like college kids, that the only thing that matters is winning. And I think that's the microcosm of college baseball. Is the season is so condensed. I mean, it is a 56-game schedule in 3+ months. I mean, it's playoff baseball. Like, you get playoff baseball from the months of February until June. And I think fans love watching it. Our kids love competing in it. I think as a coach, man, there ain't nothing better. It's exhausting. I look up at the end of every Sunday and I'm like, Lord have mercy. I feel like I just went through a regional, but man, if you love competing against the best, and you really do, like, that's to me what true competition is like me versus you. Let's go. The team we built versus the team you built. Let's go. Those players versus our players. Let's ride. And I think when you approach it like that, it can be a heck of a lot of fun. So college baseball is in an awesome spot. You know, we are continuing to try to build the culture here to where, man, our student section's awesome. They showed up and were great last year, but continuing to help them understand, like, this isn't just a passive viewing of the game. This is you guys play a role and an impact in us winning or losing. So let's go make this place hell for other people to walk into. And they're continuing to get better at that. And we got to do our job on the field to keep that excitement for them.
Yeah, and I think one thing you kind of noted too in the growth of the college game is like the amount of talent that college baseball has now too. I think we're seeing guys get to the big leagues quicker, like Nick Kurtz, Chase Burns, Trey Savage joining the World Series basically as like the ace for the Blue Jays. You've had the opportunity to coach a lot of those marquee players too, like Matt Schott, Maryland, and now you have Justin Lebron here at Alabama. Talk a little bit about like what Justin brings to the team and just being able to coach that guy every single day.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head. I think it's the infusion of some finances, the college athletics has
Mhm.
obviously helped some guys come to school, versus maybe they wouldn't have before, stay in school. You see some seniors that choose to come back
Yeah.
versus taking 20 grand and going into the draft. So I think that's helped. I think pro baseball shrinking teams a little bit, I think, has also helped. And I think, man, the odds just show you. And I actually feel bad for kids at times, because there's times that these young people get so much money out of high school
Mhm.
that they don't have a choice. Like, you can't walk away from $3 million. Like, I
Yeah.
get that. Like, you shouldn't. That'd be foolish to do that. But you're also not ready, and it's really hard to look at that and say, like, you know what? I think I'm going to leave that on the table and go to school, because I think you can argue for your long-term success as being a big leaguer that it is better for you to sign for less money but enter pro baseball more prepared than it is to sign for more money and enter pro baseball a long way away from where you need to be. And I think you're starting to see that. And shoot, Shaw got through the minor league system in a year. Nick Kurtz, like you said, Chase Burns, Trey Savage, man, that was the coolest thing to watch ever. That guy was
Great.
pitching in front of 25
Yeah.
people to start the year, and then in front of 50,000 at the end. Like, it's awesome. And I think the more these young people see those guys do it on those stages, the more they can put themselves in that shoes and say, man, those guys did that. Like, let's go have that experience. Do I want to go play on a backfield in Arizona for the next couple of years and slowly work my way up? Or do I want to go play in the meat grinder in front of 10,000 for 3 years and then shoot through pro baseball and be in the big leagues? And so, to me, I think you're seeing that. And I think, we have a guy in Justin Lebron that's just that. And, I think one thing that's really neat about him, I think, is when he approaches his day-to-day work. I think a lot of people want to get drafted.
Mhm.
They play to be first rounders. They play to do this. And I get that. Like, that's fine. I'm sure that's a goal along the way. The elite of the elite don't care where they're drafted because they want to be big leaguers. And there's a huge difference in that. And Matt Shaw told me that one time. I remember talking to him after practice one day, and he told me that. He's like, Coach, I don't care where I get drafted. I don't care if I'm a first rounder or fifth rounder. I'm playing the big leagues anyway. That's all that matters. And it's like, that's different. And I think some people, the ones that melt under the pressure, the ones that do all that, are people that make it all about the draft in July. Man, the draft in July is just, what team am I going to go play for? Let's get to work now. And I think Justin's got such a great approach to that. And he is, man. He's an elite player. He's an elite leader. I think it's rare when you have the combination of makeup, of leadership, of work ethic, also with your best player, especially in this world where there's finances involved in the game now. Like, you've heard a lot of football coaches talk
Mhm.
about that. Like, man, it's hard. Like, when these guys start making money, like, it's hard to still have that hunger. Hard to still have that drive when you put money in their pocket. Like, that's hard. But the best do. And the best football teams around the country, their players are still have that edge and are hungry and all that. And that's Justin. Like, I think that's the beauty of him, is there's no facade of I've arrived or I'm the man. Like, all that guy wants to do is win, and win at Alabama. And that's what's needed. There was a guy on campus the other day that was talking to some of the players, and he asked Justin, he said, dude, how are you going to deal with this year, dealing with the expectations of potentially being the first overall pick or being a top 5 pick of the draft? Like, how do you do that? And without missing a beat like that, just said, because I'm going to play for these guys. And that's
Mhm.
it. Like, the more we can get outside of ourselves and pour into the people around us, it's amazing how much better things start falling into place for us personally. And so I think Justin's got a great head on his shoulders. He's a freak. He does some things in a weight room that I'm like, it's what we laugh about. Our strength coach is like, I think he can look at the weights and just get stronger. It's unbelievable. Like, he's 100. I mean, he came in at 155 pounds, and now he's moving at 190 and still as explosive and as twitchy and as fast as he was when he was 150. And so he's a different animal, man. And like we say it all the time, we go as one goes. One goes out and has a good year, we got a shot to be pretty good.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. It's kind of like that mentality of kind of focusing where your feet are too, right? Like that.
Yeah.
His response to that question is basically like, "Hey, I'm here now. I'm here to win now. Like, the future's gonna be what the future's gonna be." But like,
No
just
question.
finding like that presence and being able to compete at an elite level of like what you're doing in your current position.
No doubt. And I think that's been his thing. I mean, we all know how college athletics work. We can act like it's this gentleman's sport that it was 10 years ago. It's not. It's just simply not. It is a cutthroat. My job relies on me having better players than you, so I will do anything to go get better players. And there's been people try to get him out of here for the last couple of years, and Justin very simply was like, "Dude, I want to do it here. This is where I want to build. I don't want to." It's weird. Like, I think the true elite, confident competitors are screw a super team, man. Go be the reason your team wins. And that's what Justin wants to do here. And that's the reason over the years he's never batted an eye. I had people tell me last year, they're like, yeah, Justin's definitely leaving. He's gone. He's going to go take this. He's going to take that. And then everybody's freaking out because he hasn't put a tweet out saying, I'm back. And it's like, dude, what are we doing? Like, he was never going anywhere. Why do you need to do that?
Yeah.
But special kid, man, special kid. And in the one, if I'm a pro team, it goes much deeper than just the player. I think you can watch him do two things and say, like, yeah, that guy's elite. That guy's named top into the first round guy. But man, if you're going to go invest $7 to $10 million in a player, it better be more than just his talent and his ability. You better recruit makeup. You better recruit and sign a kind of guy that's worth investing that in. And that's cool pieces for Braun, man, is he's a dude worth investing in. And some team's going to be really special in July, but I can tell you we're going to hold on and enjoy the ride for about the next 8 months.
Love it. Mark, you got any questions on your end?
Nope, no more on that side.
Cool. I had one more for you, Coach, because just kind of talking about some of the newcomers and the impact that they may have. I got to watch like Miles Upchurch up here in Maryland. It's a super talented arm. But what are some of the newcomers looking like and the pieces that you have going into 2026?
Yeah, I mean, and that's I think what we're most excited about is, I think when you look at how the draft worked for us this year, probably couldn't have gone any better. We ended up getting Zane Adams and Tyler Fay back, which was huge. Brady Neal back, Bryce Fowler back, which are all huge gets because, like I said, normally there's a lot of times juniors don't walk away from the draft to come back to school, and those four opted to do that, which was really neat. And then I think when you look at the high school class coming in, it's just a really talented group that we thought we had probably 4 or 5 real draftists in there, with you said Upchurch, Luke Smyers, pitcher out of Virginia, Chase Krober from New Jersey, Caleb Barnett down here in Mountain Brook, Alabama, Will Ryan up in Maryland, like just a lot of dudes that made the decision to say, like, hey, I want to invest in my long-term future. I want to go win at Alabama. I want to step into the culture there and help build something there. And that's, I think, what we're most excited about is I think, it's in the last couple of years, it felt like you were kind of piecing some things together with, duct tape and baling wire a little bit and going into the portal and trying to go get 10 additions and do all this stuff, and which is fine. I mean, I think you're not going to function in college athletics at an incredibly consistent high level without the portal being a part of what you do. I do think we were probably a little bit heavier out of necessity the last 2 years than we would love to be moving forward. And I think every year is a little bit different, but I think that's what we're most excited about is I look at our talented group of older players with a few additions from the outside, Justin Osterhaus, Brennan Holt, Sam Christensen, Owen Sarna. You can start going down the list of some guys that we're really excited about the additions, Evan Steckmesser, but also the really good young players, because every coach will tell you, it ain't fun going into June being like, hey, we need 15 guys. Like, it's a lot more fun if you're like, hey, we didn't know our left fielder was going to get drafted, but he just hit 380. Like, we're going to lose him. Let's go find a guy that we can plug there. Like, you want that to be more the case of supplementing your team out of the portal, not building your team out of the portal. And I think this freshman class is what has allowed us to do that. We have a couple sophomores that have taken huge steps. JoJo Williamson, Peyton Steele, guys that you look to and are like, man, we can build on those guys. And those guys are going to be part of both the immediate and the future here in some really cool ways. And you have guys like Luke Vaughn, who was in that first class coming in. That guy's just battled injuries his whole career and is finally getting himself back healthy and just had an incredible fall. So I think that's what we're most excited about is I think this freshman group and these freshmen and sophomores are going to be the guys that take Alabama baseball kind of into the future. And I think for us, it's like, when are they ready? And some of them, you're going to have a handful of them that step in and are probably ready to rock here here come February, whether that's in full-time roles or pinch hit roles or part-time roles or whatever it is. But it's our job to make sure we have those guys ready to carry the torch when the Fowlers and the Adams and the Fays and the Brady Neals and those guys kind of move on to the next stage of their career, to have that young group of nucleus that knows our culture, that knows who we are, that knows what we're all about, to be able to carry Alabama baseball into the future. So I think that's what we're probably most excited about with those new faces in town.
I love it. We just have some fun questions just to wrap up. Mark's going to kick that off here.
Coach, we all love baseball. That's why we do this thing. But what would it be if it wasn't baseball? What would have been the career direction if it wasn't for baseball?
Man, I was a mechanical engineering major in college, which was
Wow.
I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I didn't finish in mechanical engineering. Once I decided I wanted to coach, I was like, I'll never forget. I was sitting in a wind turbine class, and I was back coaching, and I was finishing my degree, and I was like, I had this epiphany. Everybody's so excited to go out into the atrium and do like this engineering fair and to meet with these companies. And I was like, I just want to go to the field. Get me out of here. And I remember calling my dad after that, and I said, Pop, I'm either going to be a really good baseball coach and a terrible engineer, or a really good engineer and a bad baseball coach. I can't do both. And I said, I want to pour my heart into this, see what it does. And if not, I'll go back, and I think I'm 18 credits away, go finish my degree in engineering. And he's like, all right, I'm good with that. So I walked into our academic counselor's office and I said, Jamie, I need to graduate this spring. She said, well, what do you want to graduate? And I said, Jamie, you don't understand. I need to graduate this spring. She was like, well, how do you feel about social sciences? I was like, yep, let's do it. So I have no idea. I don't think I would have loved being an engineer. I have no idea. I'd probably go sell something. I love being with people. People ask me that all the time. My dream when I'm done coaching, when all this is done, is I'm going to open a coffee shop. I'm going to open my own coffee shop. It's my favorite thing in the world. I love making coffee, doing this. I'm going to get all sorts of tattoos and become like that hipster coffee guy. That's going to be my plan. And all my camo. That will be my plan when I'm done here.
Second stage of life.
You fit in well
That's
here in
it.
Northwest with
Second
us.
act.
Come on up.
That's
Come
it.
visit
That's
me
it.
here. We'll go golfing. Got it. Dialed in.
Oh, I'm the worst golfer in history.
It's all right. We got it.
I love it. Yeah, we were talking about like the weirdest one we got was from Skylar Mead, who wanted to be a storm chaser. So
that tracks.
Yeah.
That absolutely tracks. As
Out.
Skylar was here a couple days ago. Purdue was playing Alabama basketball the other day, and him and his staff came up for the basketball game, and they were hanging out. Skylar's my dude, man. I love that guy, but that guy, he would run the eye. I've seen Twister, man. That guy ain't driving into the storm. He is hauling tail the other direction. So that's a absolute fallacy.
that's what he said on the pod too. He was like, "Yeah, I would."
He was like, "Nope, no thanks."
Yeah,
No, he hit me to run the other direction. So would I. Don't get me wrong. I want no part of that.
yeah,
Nope.
1000%. For you, kind of, what's been the moments for you, at least so far in your time in Alabama, have really kind of really hit home that like this is the best thing that you get to do every single day?
I mean, there's days when you stand at Bryant Denny on a Saturday night that you're like, good Lord, there ain't nothing like this.
Yeah.
You know, standing there, and you just have those moments in life, right? That are those moments that you pinch yourself a little bit. And, you know, my wife was at the game with my two boys, one's 9, one's 3. And then I was holding my 10-month-old little girl. She's in my arms, passed out asleep. And we picked them off at the goal line and run it for like a 99-yard touchdown run back, pick 6. And that place was electric. And I've got Annie. I'm holding Annie in my arms. I'm like, she has no headphones on. Terrible parenting. We didn't have any ear protection. So and that place is right. There's popcorn flying everywhere. She didn't, not 1 second woke up. But it was just one of those moments like, man, this is cool. Like,
Yeah.
And then I think you look at it, you know, I think there's been so many games that I think you pour yourself into, you know, and I mean, there's no secret. Like, I grew up an Aggie. Like, my dad played at Texas A&M. That's his team picture back behind me from the late 60s. Like, I grew up in that. And man, going back to College Station this year and playing there and having a lot of success there this year, it was just one of those moments of like, man, this is what it's all about. Like, my family was there, my dad was there. Just one of these full circle things. My dad, me and him are so incredibly close, and it's just those moments to get to spend with your family and doing that are moments that's what matters. I think I didn't watch the clip. Mo sent a thing to our players last night about Lane Kiffin talking about the good old days yesterday. And like, I think it's so easy in our game and everything to just go to the next thing and look for the next thing and look for the next thing. But I think the moments of being able to slow down and the fact that my kids are along this journey with me and my wife is along this journey with me in a town that's such a special place with good people, and that we get to show up to the baseball field and they pay us way too much money to go out and put a costume on and run around the field for a couple hours, man. There ain't nothing better.
Yeah, I was thinking about it last year. Like last year was like our first year basically doing coverage, and I got to go to the SEC tournament for the first time, and it's just like trying to remember that moment and like live in that moment because like that is an environment I have never seen before, and just
nothing like it.
Watching the games out there, man, it's insane. And like you get those moments, you're like, this is the best.
No doubt, that's what it is. Like, I said that all the time. Like I was talking to a recruit the other day, and I told him that he ended up committing to another school in a different conference. And I just told him, I was like, I remember being in the Big Ten. When you come back and you're in Omaha and you play your game at 9 a.m. and you win that game and you go back to the hotel, you don't click on any of the other tournaments. You go straight to see who's playing in the SEC tournament. The eyes of college baseball are on Hoover, Alabama for a week. And it is so fun. It's electric. It's impossible because it's so dang hard. But golly, it's a blast.
Yeah.
I try to tell people all the time. They're like, "Well, what's the coolest part?" I'm like, honestly, just trying to sit back and take a moment to breathe and just realize where you're at in the moment, and seeing all these cool things and being a part of these amazing young people and coaches like yourself, Coach. I mean, being a part of this game is a big thing. It's really exciting, and I think that fans kind of just, they see it from the outside, but if they got that chance to be on the inside, they'd be a little taken away with their breath there.
Well, that's what's cool. I think, there was some conversation a couple of years ago about, man, is the SEC tournament going to stay in Hoover? And that would have been a giant mistake to move it. And I know, I remember back to my Big 12 days when I was playing and we were playing at Bricktown in Oklahoma City, and it was so cool. And I think it's moved multiple times now. I don't know where it's at, but Hoover is the closest feel to what Rosenblatt used to be, where it's still like it's simpler times. It's just it's Hoover's beautiful. Hoover Met's great facility, but it's not a big league stadium. It's not this. It is still quintessential college baseball. And I think it's just got some of the vibes of what Rosenblatt used to be. And it's like, man, I think the league has done the best thing ever in hanging on to that and realizing what they have, because there ain't nothing like it.
Yeah. Mark, do you have any final questions to wrap up?
Nope.
Awesome.
Well, Coach, man.
Yeah, we can't thank you enough for taking the time to join us. Mark and I talk about how it's just a privilege to be able to just sit down with you guys, share your story, share the upcoming season for Alabama, and all the other fun things that come with this game. And so we're so appreciative, especially with your busy schedule, for taking the time to join us.
No doubt. Mark, I'm going to get you a hat, man. We got to get the script A front and center.
Love it. I got spots for it. I'll put it up here on the wall.
You got to move that other A that you have back there.
I was going to say, we got an A, an F, a block T. I feel like I got a few places we can put that thing.
There's a bunch over here too. Yeah.
Mark, if you put me in the corner, I'm going to be upset. I'm just going to throw that out there. I need it front and center.
It might take over some of these here, so I'll get you set up.
That's perfect.
Love it. Again, Coach, thanks for everything, man.
Appreciate it.
All right, boys. Appreciate you guys.